Hi, everyone. I'm Claire from Clearing with Claire and clearingwithclaire.com. Welcome to the Wednesday webinar, and I'm really excited about today's talk because I have got Daniel Schwartz today, and he is going to talk to us about busting myths and making wealth, what we really need to know about network marketing today, and going to dispel some of these myths and ideas that people have about it and talk to us a little bit about why it's a fantastic option for us today. So Daniel he is actually a Marine Corps veteran, right, Daniel?
Yes, veteran.
And he also has an amazing passion for wellness, for natural health, and for helping people to achieve their dreams. And Daniel is also a personal trainer, and he is also with me on my doTERRA essential oil team. That's how we know each other. And not too long ago, I kind of heard it through the grapevine that Daniel had been doing a lot of great research on network marketing. And so I just said, I want to know about that. I want to know what Daniel's finding out. And, you know, talking to a lot of people, I knew that before I was involved in doTERRA and talking to people about doTERRA, I realized that a lot of people have a lot of misunderstandings about network marketing. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Daniel, to get us started and share your presentation with us today.
Great. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Daniel. So I guess before I start the presentation, I guess I can talk a little bit about the what's the word for it? Negative connotation with network marketing that people kind of assume that it's a pyramid scheme or it's a get rich quick scheme or whatever it may be. I just want to let you know right off the bat that those are false. Pyramid schemes are illegal, and I wouldn't be doing something illegal. What makes something a pyramid scheme is a majority or all of the money that's being earned is from recruiting and not an actual sale of a product. And network marketing companies, all of their money is from a sale of a product. So it's definitely not a scheme, or otherwise it would have been shut down. And the company with doTERRA, they're fairly new. They started in 2008, so they've been up running for 8 years, and they've been growing ever since. They actually hit the $1 billion mark, I think last year. So normally a lot of other network marketing companies, they hit $1 billion yearly revenue fairly later in the game, like 20 years around there or later. And doTERRA hit it in 7 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I know that they also, I don't have the specifics in front of me, but weren't they on a Forbes list of best employers as well recently?
Yes. I actually don't have the exact rank or whatever things they've won, but they did win multiple or ranked multiple times with Forbes with best best employer, best small. I don't know exactly what they did.
It's good stuff. It's
good stuff. Yeah. Stuff. Cool. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen. All right. So busting myths and building wealth. What you need to know about network marketing today. So before we kind of go into network marketing, I want to go into some statistics from the Bureau of Labor. So out of 100 people that start working at the age of 25, so kind of like average age for college graduates and so on and so forth, by the age of 65, 1 is wealthy, 4 have enough money, 4 actually have enough money to retire, 63 depend on social security or charity, and then the last 29 are dead or deceased.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not too uplifting.
Exactly. It's a little. It's kind of depressing to look at that. That is really only 1% is actually wealthy, and then 4% actually has enough money to retire. I'm going to talk about a little bit later in the presentation, about how kind of like the old way of the 40-40 plan, where you work 40 hours a week for 40 years and then you can retire. Well, that's it doesn't work like that anymore. Especially with technology increasing, that doesn't happen anymore, and there's definitely a better way, and I'm going to go into it. Okay, so 500,000 jobs are being eliminated each year due to technology, and these are never coming back ever, just because as technology increases, it replaces the need for these jobs, like call centers, or I don't eat fast food because it's terrible for you. But if you ever go to a fast food restaurant, maybe they have a electronic cashier where you just put on the whatever burger or fries, whatever you want on there. They're replacing jobs.
Yeah, restaurants are going to using iPads. Factories always having new technology, machinery.
Exactly. And so these jobs are just going away and they're never coming back. And the average college student will work 11 different jobs in 5 different careers during his or her life.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. I'm actually very, very glad that I found this profession. A lot of people call network marketing an industry, or a hobby, or whatever it may be, but I truly believe it is a profession. It is a solid career path. And one of my great mentors, I haven't met him in person yet, but I plan on it. His name is Eric Worre, and I did borrow some of his material for this presentation. You'll see it in a little bit. But he is he's the ambassador of this profession, and he retired from network marketing, and he went full-time into teaching and coaching and mentoring people in the network marketing profession, and
awesome.
become successful. Oh yeah, so I'm very, very glad that I found this profession before I went to school. So I have, through the Marine Corps, I have the GI Bill. I can go to college for free, technically. I mean, I earned it, but so it's it's not really free, but but I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I always had the thought in the back of my mind that what if I spend all this time in college, and at the end of it realize, like, oh wow, this degree is useless because I don't even want to do that. So I'm very glad that I found network marketing. But let's continue. So 77% of Americans live their lives paycheck to paycheck. They're at the beginning of the month or the end of the month, they have no money, and they need that paycheck, otherwise they're going to starve. And $1.22 is the average amount of money spent by Americans for every dollar they earn. So that's actually negative savings.
Yeah,
they're in the negative, and we're going to talk about debt in a little bit. But you can see here that this isn't a very good path for people when you're looking at this. The 62% of Americans will retire with a yearly income of less than $10,000. Wow, that's terrible. I don't think you can live off of that, or you definitely can't.
No, you can't.
61% of Americans say they'd like to be their own boss, and 40% of Americans say only $500 extra of monthly income would dramatically improve their financial situation. I'm not married, but I've heard that a lot of couples, they get divorced because of financial stress, and some say that $500 extra would have saved their marriage.
Wow, that's very, very sad.
Exactly.
And it's shocking. I mean, I think, part of why I'm so glad that you're here and you're talking to us about these statistics is that they're so counter to our general idea of what it is to be living and working in the US today, and how our lives, quote unquote, should be working. And probably a lot of us looking at this are resonating with it and thinking, yeah, this is happening for me, or I've been really worried about this. I've been worried about this for my parents, my loved ones, and they don't know how common it is, and probably don't know what to do about it either.
Yeah, the old ways of success, they no longer work.
Yeah.
And yeah, this 61% of Americans say they like to be their own boss. That comes from, I know personally, when you have like a supervisor or a manager or whoever it may be, in the Marines, I had a staff sergeant who's, I guess that would be like a supervisor position, who really didn't know their job as well as I did, and so a lot of times I was doing more than my actual job. It's like, oh, you're good at this job, so let's give you more things to do. But
Right.
In the military, you get paid the exact same amount at that at that rank. You only get more as you get promoted.
And a lot of civilians deal with that too. In their businesses, in their jobs, I hear so much about, oh, well, these other people got laid off, but I'm still here, and now I'm doing their jobs without any more pay.
Exactly. A lot of businesses, they're requiring more of people and not paying them what they're worth. So with network marketing, I believe that it's an amazing profession, an amazing business model, and you get to earn what you're worth. And a lot of people, they're definitely not getting what they're worth.
Right.
Okay, so how things used to work. So step 1, you go to school to learn how to be an employee. Step 2, find a company to be an employee for. Step 3, work for that company for 40 years. And then step 4, retire. Well, that's kind of, that's the old way. That's, what my, parents and grandparents, that's what all they knew. And that's kind of why they're, always telling, my generation, what is it, Generation Y or millennials, whatever. Go to school, get a job. Go to school, get a job. Otherwise, you're not going to be successful. Well, that's not how it is anymore. That's that's the we're not in the industrial age anymore. It doesn't work. So how things are now? Step 1, go to school to learn how to be an employee, because that's pretty much all school is. School and college, you learn to follow
or
orders.
You go to art school.
Yeah.
You learn how to paint like I do.
Yeah, definitely. But majority of school is learning how to follow instructions. Sit down, shut up, read this, do as I say, and it's just it's technically it's brainwashing. I'm not afraid to say it. It's conditioning your mind into to be an employee, to be a worker bee, while someone else reaps all the profit off of your work. Yeah, you go to school to learn how to be an employee. You find a company to be an employee for. Switch companies for various reasons every 3 to 5 years, and then find out you can't comfortably retire and have to continue working. And the step 3, switching companies for various reasons, every however many years, it might not even be your choice. Some companies, they just lay off people because, like, oh, this person is becoming more valuable and I don't want to have to pay them more money, so I'm just gonna lay them off, so they don't work for however many years to be able to get a raise, or a raise of 1%, whatever, not anything, or actually retire and get a pension from them. So they're cycling through all these employees, keep them low level and not earning enough money, because that company, they want to make as much money as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So something that Eric Worre said in his book, it's an amazing book. It's called GoPro. It's not the little camera. No, it's GoPro, 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional. So he says soon we will be living in a performance-based economy, and those safe jobs will no longer exist. So it's not going to – a performance-based job would be like a server at a restaurant, where they make like $2 an hour by law, which is –
Ooh, yeah, I recently heard a piece about that on NPR, and it's really terrible. Yeah, that is, I think that's the national minimum.
Yeah.
For
that's terrible.
Tip-based employees. Yeah.
It's like slavery, I think. Slave labor. Like, yeah, here's your $2. And then the rest of all of their money that they get is from tips. It's, performance based. If they if they're in a terrible attitude, and they don't treat whoever right, they might not get tips. So then they might not get money for that day or that week or that
Right.
month. It's not. So really, they have to perform to be able to earn enough money. So what's soon to come in the near future is, let's say a corporate job, a white-collar job in corporate America, you earn like $60,000 a year. Well, they're going to cut that down to $50,000, and then cut that down again to $20,000 as a base salary, and tell them you will earn $20,000 a year, or however much a month. But if you meet certain benchmarks, you will earn a bonus to be able to receive that that full $50,000
Right.
a year,
Yeah.
Salary. And then as you begin to continue to meet those performance benchmarks, they're going to expect more from you, and you're just going to be doing more and more work,
Yeah.
and not receiving what you're actually worth. That's pretty much where we're headed.
Yeah,
So
I see a lot of jobs growing that way, that in the job market, that are, they focus on the growth potential, but it's essentially mission based, which is performance based. And the people that I know working in jobs like that, I see how much additional stress it puts on you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's when you're looking at it from, I guess, left-brained and only numbers. It's it's a better model for these companies. So I mean,
Right.
they're trying to make more money, but it's not good for the people working there. They're pretty much getting screwed over. So there has to be a better way, right? Well, there is. So in in the book GoPro, Eric Worre, he asked a bunch of people the qualities of the perfect career, and he would ask them, what would be the perfect career for you? And most people, they start with the things they don't want. They don't want a boss. They don't want to have to commute. They don't want an alarm clock. They don't want politics. They don't want an educational requirement. But then after they go through all the things they don't want, they start to go through the things that they, the positive things, the things they do want. So unlimited income, residual income, time freedom, low risk, economy proof, tax benefits, and fun. So that looks pretty good to me. For a perfect career, no boss, no commute, no alarm clock, all these awesome things, residual income, unlimited income, time freedom. It sounds great. So there's technically, there's more than 5, but the 5 known job categories are blue collar, white collar, sales, traditional business, and investing or investor. So a blue collar job is, I don't have the exact definition from Wikipedia or whatever it may be, but it has to do with more like manual labor, working with your hands. And I know people who work blue collar jobs, and it's very satisfying when you have a job well done. You actually see the completed, accomplished product. But when you look back at the perfect career, it doesn't add up. Blue collar does not can't be the perfect career. So white collar, this would be like corporate America. You have a desk job or a cubicle, whatever it may be. It could provide great income, but back to the qualities, it doesn't match up. And then the third one is sales. So salesmen, they do have an unlimited earning potential. Well, maybe not unlimited, but pretty high earning potential.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, they're back at zero. So maybe they might think that they really work for themselves, like maybe like a car salesman, they think they work for themselves. So really, they're answering to Toyota or whoever it may be. And at the end of the day, when they start the next day, they're at zero. And
no
then
residual. Yeah,
there's no residual. There's high potential, but you have to continually keep on working to maintain that. And then there's traditional business. So with traditional business, this is there's a very high startup cost, and even like franchising as well. Like for businesses, at one of Eric Worre's GoPro events, he asked people who had traditional business ownership and asked them what was the how much money did they have to put up front. Some people said $50,000, some said $100,000, some said like $250,000, and someone even said $500,000 that they had to put up front. So yes, you're your own boss, but you also it's all of your money in the beginning, and you're also doing all of the other jobs. You're paying people, you're managing all the politics, you're babysitting, you're doing all these things, and you even get to take out the trash. So
yeah, it would also include because I've been in the world of online business, social entrepreneurism, life coaching, business coaching, and that would fall in this category as well, whereas you don't have the necessarily same kind of startup cost, and that you don't need a brick and mortar. Often you don't realize the cost of putting in everything from your life to create that from the ground up, financially and with your energy.
Yes, exactly. I think it might be like a subcategory. Like if there's traditional business where it's like brick and mortar, and then other business would be online business, which is is a little bit less startup cost compared to a brick and mortar
Mhm.
business, but there's still that big investment. And I forget the numbers. I was reading a book called "Start with Why" by Simon Sinek. He's also awesome. Um, I think it was like 85% of business owners, they don't succeed within 3 years. So sometime in those first 3 years, they fall apart or they go bankrupt or whatever it may be. They fail pretty much.
Mhm.
So it seems that the chances are pretty low, and it doesn't stack up to the perfect career. And then there's investor. With investing, there's super high risk, and it doesn't. Yeah, you have to be very skilled in it and very good at predicting, but things could go wrong, like a crash that could just eliminate everything, um, and yeah, it definitely doesn't stack up to the perfect career.
Yeah,
So
one thing I wanted to say about investing too is that, actually through studying investing with Investor Full Town, this is where I learned about a lot of these um, qualities and statistics and situations with people and what they're doing financially, how it relates to their job, and where they're ending up when they're heading towards retirement, just like you were talking about. And that's what started to really just put me on high alert and think like, oh my gosh, I've got to do things differently. And I want different things for my loved ones. And investing, it's the same thing, that you've got to start with a large nest egg or backing or something. You've got to have this large financial backing even to get started with that.
yeah, it's with a lot of or all successful people or millionaires or billionaires, whatever they say, or whatever they may be, they say to have multiple streams of income. So investing in business and franchising and whatever you want to have multiple streams of income. So I'm not saying
It's an important factor.
don't invest or don't start a business,
Right.
or don't do franchising. I'm just saying that these alone don't really stack up for the perfect career. Now, network marketing, it's definitely a better way. It's not perfect, but it is better. It does stack up with most of the perfect qualities. No boss. You're your own boss, but technically you do have a boss. It's your calendar. It's you have to. It's not just you're automatically successful. It's hard work, but it's definitely worth it. And there's going to be ups and downs, but it's your own $1 million business, and you have to treat it like that. Otherwise, it's not going to reward you like a business. They say, a lot of people say, if you treat it like a business, it's going to reward you like a business. But if you treat it like a hobby, it's going to cost you like a hobby. And it's going to end up being a very expensive hobby.
That's a great distinction to make.
Yeah. So when we talk about traditional business ownership and or just being an entrepreneur, we're in the age of entrepreneurship, where that's the best route, I believe, and a lot of people believe, like Eric Worre, Robert Kiyosaki, all these very successful people. The old ways of success don't no longer work, and if you want to be successful, if you want to be financially independent, if you want to be, if you actually want to retire comfortably, you have to be an entrepreneur. But it doesn't mean that you have to, go out and put down $1 million for a McDonald's franchise. That's actually the minimum you have to put down if you want to have a McDonald's franchise. But no, you don't have to. with network marketing, it doesn't have that massive, startup cost. Um, some companies, they may even have like $100 startup cost, where it's a really small investment, um, but it's also kind of like a double-edged sword at the same time. Or yeah, it's a small investment, but when people realize that it is hard work and they do have to put in more than they expected, then they're like, oh, well, it was only this, that, or the other. Might as well quit. Whereas in
Mm-hmm.
traditional business, you put down like $100,000, you have 100,000 reasons to not quit. So this is, this business, this profession, it's they say it's a personal development business with a compensation plan attached to it, because you have to grow. You have to grow as a person. You have to grow as an individual. You have to grow as a leader. I realized that fast, that you can only achieve like a certain amount of success before you need to get more skills or just grow as a person. So they say if you're if you're not reading, if you're not doing something to better yourself, your business is gonna stop growing and it's gonna plateau. So if you want your business to grow, you have to grow. Um, and with network marketing, there's unlimited unlimited income potential, but you get what you put in. Like you earn what you're worth. So when you'll quickly realize that it's like, okay, well, if I want to earn more, I have to do more.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually very simple. There's a few things with network marketing. I mean, there's tons of companies uh, that, but all the skills and kind of the steps are kind of the same, and it's just a few simple things done over and over and over. Finding people, teaching them about the product or opportunity, or presenting it, whatever, and then enrolling them, and then duplicating yourself and other people, and duplicating leadership, and teaching them how to find people, and teaching them how to teach people, and teaching them how to teach other people to find and teach and enroll and duplicate, and it keeps on going. So it's very few things that you have to do, but you just have to do them a lot. And then
And it's all about, you hear that a lot, especially if you have studied any business or customer satisfaction. You hear so much about, it's all about relationships and building relationships. And I think that's a really big reason why it has so much to do with personal growth, because your business in network marketing really truly is based on the value of your relationships that you have with the people that you're working with and the people who are working with you on your team.
definitely, yeah. I've heard from so many high income earners in network marketing in this profession that it is a relationship business. It's a personal growth business, but it's also a relationship business, and you have to build those relationships. And you're not restricted on how many people now. It's like you write a list of 100 or 150 people, and once you do that list, it's not over then and there. Most of the people that I've talked to and listened to and heard from, they say that like 90% of their organization, their business, is from people that they met after they started their business. So it's not just, who you know
Yeah,
now. Some people think that it's, oh, well, I don't know anyone or I don't have any friends, so I can't be successful at this business.
right. Or
No,
no one I know wants this.
yeah, exactly. It's one of those, those ups and downs. It's definitely one of the downs where you have constant negativity, whether it be from someone else or yourself, that you have to learn to push through it. And it's like, okay,
Mhm.
that's that personal development where it's like, all right,
Right.
just, that's just fear talking. I'm going to continue going.
Yeah.
But one thing I do want to go into is the power of residual income. So
Yes.
that was one of the qualities of the perfect career, is having residual income.
Hmm.
So these numbers that I'm going through, there's a reason why there's $50 a month, and you'll see in the next slides there's a certain set numbers. It's because of a, a lot of the compensation plans in network marketing companies. They're kind of they're similar, but I'm using some of the numbers from my company, doTERRA. So there's multiple ways to receive or earn income. And there's one of the bonuses, you earn anywhere from $50 to $1,500 a month, and that is a residual $50 or a residual $1,500. And a lot of people, they don't
But
actually.
that means that it's coming from, essentially it's based on sales and relationships that you previously had. It's not that it's, for anyone who's kind of saying, I kind of know what residual income is, but it's not a direct commission from a sale that's happening right now that you made. It's coming from sales and relationships that you built in the past who are still continuing within the company, still the customer
Yeah,
within
exactly.
the team. Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people, they don't know like what residual income, because most people, Robert Kiyosaki, he says people are coin operated. They work for that dollar. You put that dollar in their back, and they'll clap their hands like the monkey. And then when you don't pay them, they're not going to work. But
Right.
residual income is, it's money that's coming in no matter what. Because of something that you built, it's a pipeline that you built um, for the future.
Yeah, should
So
we? I don't know if you're going to talk about this in a minute, but should we talk a little bit about the concept of buckets versus pipeline and what we mean when we say
uh,
a pipeline?
yeah, I don't have that in the presentation, but I've kind of have it memorized. So
Well, I would
there's
say that, just going back to one of the points that you made earlier, that the coin operated idea and the idea that how, so many Americans are living paycheck to paycheck.
Mhm.
And if something interrupts that paycheck that they're working for each day, each week, that they're going to be in a dire circumstance. So the buckets and pipeline is a nice kind of fable or metaphor to illustrate that and the alternative. But there is an alternative.
Exactly. Do you want me to go over? I pretty much have it memorized, the
Yeah,
story.
give us the micro version.
Yeah. So you can just Google buckets and pipelines, but the way the story goes is, there's a man who lived in a village that was 2 miles from the nearest water source. So his job was to haul buckets of water from that water source to the village so people could have clean drinking water. So he had, the perfect job security. Everyone needed water, so his job was never going to go away. So he would haul buckets to earn money, because people needed water. And then eventually he realized, if he didn't do something to change this, he was going to be hauling buckets for his entire life. So he made a plan. In his spare time, or so sorry, he would haul buckets to, pay the bills, whatever he needed for his family. He would haul buckets for that. But then in his spare time, he would start building a pipeline. So he worked, persistently and consistently in his pipeline building efforts, and he eventually finished the pipeline and turned on the spigot in the village so people can, get that clean water, and he didn't have to, haul buckets 2 or 3 miles back and forth from the nearest water source, and people can actually, get water. And that actually gave him, or that gave the village, a pipeline, but it actually created a financial pipeline for him to be able to actually pursue his greater cause and higher purpose in life. The story is a little bit longer. You can look it up online, but that's kind of the gist of it.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
So $50 a month residually, it sounds small. Oh, $50? Like, what is that? But it's residual. So I'll put it into perspective of what kind of most people understand, maybe if they had a white-collar job, 401k. So let's say you had $12,000 invested in an account earning at 5%. That's what that $50 a month is. If you had an account with $12,000 and you were earning, you could only touch the interest that you got off of that. And it was 5%, you would get $50 a month. So if you worked at a job and they were putting money into a 401k for you, and this $50 residual income, it took you 3 months to build that job, they would have to, or comparing it, they would have to pay you $4,000 a month to equal a $50 residual check. So $250 a month residually, that would be the value of $60,000 invested in an account earning at 5%. So if you were working a job and they're paying into your 401k, and it took you 6 months to build that $250 a month residual income, that job would have to pay you $10,000 a month to equal that. And then a $2,200 a month residually. The value of that would equal $528,000 invested in an account earning at 5%. Let's say it took you 1 year to build that, $2,200 a month residual income. If you're working a job that would fund your 401k, they'd have to pay you $44,000 a month to equal that $2,200 residual check.
Wow.
As the number increases, so does the the amount that you have to be paid to equal that residual income.
Right. This figure in particular also makes me think of, you think like, well, 44,000 is more what an average person earns in a year.
A year, yeah.
In America, and that the number of the value, the invested value, that's only half of what you would need to retire comfortably at 65.
Yeah.
Currently.
Yeah, the statistics show that you need at least $1 million invested to be able to retire.
Right.
And I don't know the exact numbers, but if we go back to the first slide, only 5 people actually have that and be able to retire comfortably.
Out of 100?
Yeah, out of 100, sorry. So $16,900 a month residually. That value is $4 million invested in an account earning at 5%. So these numbers, they represent a rank or the average monthly earnings of a rank in doTERRA, and it's kind of the same for a lot of other network marketing companies. But yeah, so that residual check for this rank is around $16,000 a month. So the value of that would be $4 million invested in an account earning at 5%. And let's say if it took you 4 years to build your business to that rank that's earning $16,000 a month, a company, the equivalent, a company would have to pay you $84,000 a month. Sorry, I think I missed the a month part.
A month. We get it now.
They'd have to pay you $84,000 a month for 4 years to create that, $4 million in your 401k to have that $16,000 residual income. The rank after that, they earn a $41,000 residual income a month. So the value of that would be almost $10 million invested in an account earning at 5%.
Wow.
So if it took you 6 years to build and get to that rank, the equivalent of that in corporate America, they would have to pay you $138,000 a month to even match that residual income.
I just want to say that I don't know anyone that makes that a month, but I do want to say also that that we do know people who have achieved this in doTERRA. It's not just these are not just speculative numbers, and they're not just imaginary numbers. And people have asked me that, do you actually know someone that's doing this? And yes, I do. And I've met them, I've hung out with them. They're amazing, inspiring people.
Yeah, definitely. It's not, I guess I forgot to go over one of the things, one of the negative connotations with network marketing, that people think like, oh, it's just people on the top that are making the money. I don't have the exact numbers, but it's something, it's in the billions that are actually paid out to distributors in network marketing. So it's not just the one person at the top of
Right.
the pyramid with
right.
quotes. There's so many people. I think it's let's see the percentage of. I'm not sure the exact numbers of who's earning what or whatever, but it's a big percentage of people that are earning money with this. It's not just the people that got in early. Everyone's earning money.
Right, and I think that's another important point to make is that as we said, a lot of people, and I myself, have had negative connotations around network marketing, but when you and this false conflation with a pyramid scheme, but when you look at the structure of your average corporation where people are working, that too is a pyramid, and this is the kind of job that your parents and grandparents would ask you to go get after school. And truly in that pyramid structure, it is the people at the top that are earning the most and earning more and more and more than the people working below them every year, as our economy is moving that way.
Exactly.
Whereas especially in doTERRA, because it does have a little bit of a different structure and commission and pay structure than most network marketing, as you said, it doesn't matter where you are in the quote unquote pyramid. It's kind of more like a family tree, but you could be earning multiple times more than people who got into the business before you and are quote unquote higher up in the structure.
Yeah, exactly. It's sometimes I have to stop myself a little bit when when someone says, "Oh, is that a pyramid scheme?" Because you don't want to come off as rude, like, "Oh, pyramid scheme? You mean like everything, like corporate America, the
Yes.
government?"
You don't want to be that conspiracy theorist guy when
Right.
you're already the
Yeah.
the weird
Yeah.
essential oils guy.
Yeah. Everything is, is a pyramid. Really, and the way Robert Kiyosaki, he owns the Rich Dad education company. He
Author of
provides
Rich Dad
financial
Poor Dad.
education. Yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad. He says network marketing, it's a pyramid, but it's flipped the other way, where you're creating leaders and CEOs of their own businesses, and it's going up rather than you being at the top going down.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the last quote unquote rank in residual income is $114,000 a month residually. The value of that would have to be $27 million in an account earning at 5%. So let's say if it took you 10 years to build up to that rank or residual income, it would be the equivalent of someone paying you in an account $229,000 a month, which is ridiculous. No, I mean, unless you're, I don't even know.
I don't know.
You would have to be,
Let's see. You
far up,
made the Panama Papers.
yeah, far up there in Fortune 500 companies. You'd have to be doing something ridiculous to be able to earn. Actually, a month? No, I don't think that even exists.
Not sure.
That's let me see. Yeah, that's that's unheard of. But with network marketing, it it makes this possible. It makes being able to not only live paycheck to paycheck, but to be able to have a greater influence and have a what's the word? Be able to pursue your higher purpose and actually do something greater that you're meant to do. We weren't meant to work and pay bills until we died. Like that's
depressing.
That's not what we're meant to do.
Yeah.
I feel we've been caught in a trap. Or the majority of people in America and the world have been caught in a trap and they can't get out of it. And it's that 40-40 where, work a 9 to 5 and hope that you could retire. We've been caught in this trap where, we're worker bees. And I'm so grateful that I found this way to escape that trap, to get out of it and not have to rely on someone else to pay my bills, that I could actually earn what I'm worth and do what I was meant to do and help others. And it's not just helping people with the product or service that I have with essential oils, not just helping people with with a natural form of healthcare, but actually giving them a better way and showing them a better way to actually earn money and earn what they're worth and do what they're meant to do.
Yeah.
And the end of the presentation is, if you don't build your dream, someone will hire you to build theirs. That's amazing. It's and it's so true. It's people that are stuck in that trap, they gave up on their own dream because they want to be safe. They want to I don't want to take a big risk because I just want to be safe in my little comfort zone and just do the work that I need to so I don't get fired. But that's that that safe, secure job doesn't exist. And that safe, secure job that may still exist for some people, they're not really doing what they love. Well, maybe some people are. Maybe someone loves sitting at a desk and building someone else's dream. I definitely don't. I don't want to build someone else's dream.
I don't either.
I want to build my dream.
Mm-hmm.
So really, when it comes down to it, is like, do you want to build your dream, or do you want to help someone else build theirs, and not get paid what you're worth?
While you're at it.
Yeah. So the video that I did want to show, it's pretty long. It's like 10 or 12 minutes, but it is one of my favorite speeches, and it's from Eric Worre in his younger days. But it is getting close to 6. It's 1 minute away.
It's 1 minute away. Well, let's do this. Let's see. I know we have David and we have someone else with us on the phone. And let's just open it up for questions for a minute and see if any of our listeners have questions right now. David, I didn't mute you. There was a little bit of background noise, but you can just click on that on the bottom of your screen on the little microphone if you have a question that you'd like to share with Danielle and myself.
If you could post this is Amanda. Hello.
Hi, Amanda.
Hey, it would be awesome if you could post the link to the video and maybe we could watch it after, because I wasn't able to get on Zoom on my phone. I could only call in. So if you could post it, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'll post it on the event.
Cool. Thank you.
Perfect. That'll be great.
Yeah. This was awesome. I feel like I know I was somebody who was super opposed to network marketing, and so I think it's really great that we're kind of dispelling myths about it, and presenting an alternative, because so many people are just still caught up in the stigmas and the pyramid scheme and all that stuff, and so it's like, no, we're actually real people who haven't lost their minds and are actually know what they're doing, are participating in a very lucrative legal business, and so thanks for putting this webinar together.
Awesome. Yeah, I know that you actually had every reason to have a negative connotation with network marketing as well, due to your previous experiences, and just knowing that that the industry doesn't mean just one thing. It's just a way of marketing goods and services, and especially ones that need more and deserve more education and connection than you would just get by putting something online or putting it on a shelf in a store.
Yeah, and it seems like the whole system of network marketing is shifting to a more heart-centered approach as opposed to like a salesy, pressury approach. And I think that's why people have gotten such a bad taste in their mouth, myself included, because I did work with a network marketing company about 10, 15 years ago, and it was like humiliating and horrible. But now the way it's shifting is a much different model, and so it's more about relationship building, like you guys were talking about, and much less about just selling products. So it's a totally different world these days, and that's why it's becoming so much more appealing, because it actually is, it doesn't have that weird, icky, like used car salesman feel to it anymore.
Yeah.
It's the bad eggs that they ruin it for most people. Whenever someone, like the people that have that negative connotation with network marketing, it's because someone in the past kind of ruined it for them. Where it's like, oh, you're doing that.
Thing.
I don't want to do that. And it's like, well, it's probably because that person ruined it for you, and actually didn't show you what authentic network marketing has to offer. I think it was Jim Rohn who said it, or maybe it was one of his mentors who said there's only, there's only 10 awful people in the world. They move around a lot, but really there's only 10.
That's funny.
They're movers and shakers. What did you think, David? Did you have any questions or comments?
Well, I have a couple of comments as far as the litany of what people might do in their lifetimes and live through. Yeah, I've lived through all of those. I'd like to say I'm in the top 5, but I'm probably in the next category down, which isn't a bad place to be. Already involved in network marketing, so this rings very true to what I'm already doing.
Awesome.
And, I think it's a good presentation. So.
Thank you.
Okay, glad to be here, really.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming. Well, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and wrap up then, since we're just after 6. And Daniel, please do post that link in the event, and I'll be sure to share that on my Clearing with Claire page. That's at www.facebook.com/clearingwithclaire, CLAIRE. I'll also be posting the recording of this video, and you can also find it on YouTube. So thank you again, Daniel, so much. This was wonderful. I just think it's so important to get this information out to people. I've really developed a passion for that and for using it to create my own world and share with people. So I just appreciate you being here so much and being the one to look into and do the research and share this information.
Oh, thank you for having me and giving me the opportunity to share something that I love. I've only been in this profession for like 6 months, but
wow,
it's opened my eyes so much that it's like, wow, this is why. How come I didn't learn about this before?
Yeah.
This needs to be taught, and it needs to be shown to the world, because it's an amazing gift that people need to at least hear about or see.
Yeah, I think that that's another modality and another tool that I love using in my life is called access consciousness. It's kind of an energetic modality, and they talk a lot about how much we can lose in our life from relying on and not realizing that we're relying on judgments and conclusions and belief systems that aren't necessarily serving us. So I think that that's something that I'm very dedicated to in Clearing with Claire. What we're sharing here is just to offer ways for people to go beyond that. So that's been definitely what we talked about today.
Awesome.
All right. Okay. Well, everyone, we'll hope to see you again next Wednesday, same time, 5 p.m. Pacific. And until then, bye.
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 Bye.